Hello gentle people, Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Another week, another carving. Uh, this one will be like the Viking warrior I've done. Well, I've made a lot. I've done a lot of Viking warrior, but the one where I carve and then I talk over the video, I find it better. It I can make the video quicker for you to watch because I can put the speed at ×2 and then I talk over it, which I obviously can't really do in the wood. Um, so yes, this week I have carved Odin, All Father of the Norse god. It will be like the tier I've done. It's super detailed, at least compared to what I usually do. It's not that beginner friendly, but it's still not that hard, I guess, to carve if you follow along. It's a bit intricate because there's a lot of little angles and everything. Um, he's basically holding one of his raven, if the camera can zoom, as you can see, on one hand, and then he has a staff on the other that he's holding. So yes, it's lots of little details, a lot of little carves. The bigger your knife is, the harder it will be because of how it is. I'm still just using one knife on purpose. It will be way easier for me to use gouge to go into the little spots, but that's not what I do. I still just want to use one knife for you guys because I don't know the tool that you have, but you should probably have at least a knife if you're carving. So this is what we'll do today, and I hope you enjoy. And as usual, let's get cracking straight away. So I start by drawing the staff, spear, however you want to call it. I start from the angle on the top right, left. I'm not exactly sure, depending on where you look at. It goes all the way to the top, left, right, all the way to the bottom in the middle. Then I draw the shoulder on the right arm. I draw the cloak. It's kind of puffy, you know. And then the hand that is holding the staff. I'm drawing on the other side the other hand. This one is a bit higher because it's holding the raven. And then I do a line for the head, which is just a guideline for me to know where to remove wood. And I put the middle line and then the other one just to know the middle of the middle, and then I draw a circle just for later to give me perspective for the head. And then I start removing wood. So big chunks on the side. There's not a lot of wood removing in this one. I mean, in the big chunks, there's obviously a lot of wood removing, but you will see I remove this side of the raven, the back, a little bit on the side, and then straight away I go into detail, because it's all about little cuts at that one. So I make a stop cut following the line of the edge of the blade, then I remove the wood little bits by little bits. Don't go too hard on that. You don't want to break the pointy spear. Then little stop cut on the, I don't know how to call that, the blade handle at the top. Little cuts here also. It's super small, so take care. Doesn't take that much to break everything. Same thing here on the other side. The wood grain is on this part is splitting if I carve up, but it's okay because all of that would need to be removed anyway when I will do the hood, if I could say. Then a lot of stop cut following the staff slash spear. Then I remove the wood. As you can see, it splits, but that is perfectly fine. And here I go along. I knew it was about to split there, so I stopped and I've done a deeper stop cut to make sure that the top of the blade, or at least the whatever you call that, the little wooden piece under the blade doesn't split. Stop cut following the hand. I'm not going all the way to the fingers, I'm going all the way to the end of the wood just to remove the vast majority of the wood on the top of the hand first. I will carve the rest later, just to make sure that I carve the hand thick enough so I can remove the wood for it to just not break, as you can see here. You need to be careful to not cut too much, because there's the other hand. You see here I'm doing the stop cut, following the hand and the sleeve. Removing wood under the left hand. I could have left a little bit more, but the thing is, like, my wooden piece is kind of small, and because of that I don't have a lot of leverage. If it was twice the thickness I would have more space for the knife, but in any way, I've carved under the hand and I removed the wood to basically all the way to the staff, and now I'm removing the side wood of the hand. Just looking around what to do next. So I would remove the wood from under the wooden part of the staff, create the shoulders, at least the right arm, following the shape of my drawing. Then stop cuts on the sleeve on the right hand. All that wood needs to be removed. Quite a lot of wood at least need to be removed. Then I'm creating the shape of the sleeve, one piece at a time. But I'm popping out that wood, even if it breaks or split, that is okay. That's wood that needs to be removed anyway. So here I take my time, little cuts, little cuts. I don't want to break the spear. It's fairly thin, it's just like 2 millimeters or something like this. Removing more wood from the sleeve. I'll come back later also. Trying my best, there we go. So remove wood on the side, then remove wood under the sleeve, then wood on the side, then wood under. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This one is a bit easier because there's not all the intricate staff on this side, so it's fairly easy to remove the wood. But then I started having a little bit of difficulty carving there, because thanks wood, there's a little knot that I was not aware of that will show itself right there. I'm like, oh great, a knot. Well, we'll have to deal with it, I guess. So removing more wood from below the sleeve. So now we have both sides. So I just draw a little bit more for the hand, and then I draw the raven. Because once again my wood piece is kind of small, I would love to have more space between the raven and the end of the piece, but I didn't have that luxury. So anyway, I just removed just a little bit of wood for the front of the face. And jumping around, just removing more wood for the blade. I realized it was a bit too not deep enough. Moving the little bit that I forgot there. So I'm carving inside here. It's pretty tricky. You don't want to go too far because that's the hand holding the raven. You don't want to remove the wood for the raven part, and then all of these little intricate spots. Like I said, if the piece was bigger it would be easier, because my knife blade is too big to fit in there. Having a gouge would be magical, but like I said earlier, I'm not using it on purpose. I still want to just carve that thing with only just a knife. I removed a little bit of wood in the back, still removing a little bit more wood under the elbow. Still shaping up the back a little bit. It's just carving the raven is not, it's kind of intricate that I'm just like procrastinating right here. Not wanting to start the thing, but I will have to do it at some point. Just removing the little bit of ugliness on the wood on this side. And at this point I guess that I'm just thinking that it's good enough. Removing more wood on the head part. Just creating more cuts, as always. It's better for the paint. If I paint this guy. And there I realized that there was also a little, it's not exactly a knot, but there was a little thing on the wood at the top also. It was not the best piece. Alright, going back to the hand, slowly but surely. Cutting the thickness of the hand, then removing the part inside here, so that will make the fingers pop. Then it's really tricky because I can't go in on the side, so I have to kind of do a V-cut on one side on the hand, and then do another V-cut near the staff, and then so on and so forth. Maybe one day I will carve the raven. I'm still procrastinating. You see here the wood is splitting, but that is okay. I can arrange it a little bit. I'm just trying to create more depth in the middle, which is fairly hard. Okay, see, I'm still not going for the raven. Basically what I'm doing here is continuing to work on the staff, and the right arm I'm cutting inside to create some depth, and then I will remove a little bit here at the top and inside. Here I'm cutting straight because basically the staff is inside the arm, obviously, so I'm bringing the staff back in. So it creates a little ledge, as you can probably see here. It's not 100% physically accurate. Like the staff is still kind of going through the arm, but it gives the effect that I want. Here I'm flipping side because I realized that, oh, wood split, change side, there we go, better. Okay. Getting more depth again. Same thing here. I'm just separating the hand and the lower part from the staff. The hand is a bit too small. I realized that after the right hand compared to the left hand, there's a bit of difference. I would have probably gave more angle in the sleeve, I think. It still works, but yeah, the right hand is a bit small. Just creating more shape for the bottom of the staff, rounding the edges. Removing more wood. Okay, then making sure I'm popping the staff on the other side, but take care with that. Just do small cuts. Still, like I said, the staff is just a couple of millimeters, so it doesn't take that much to just break everything. It could still work, but yeah, it's better not. Removing more wood under the end. I don't know if you've seen, but I have to go down, remove a little bit of wood, go up. Anyway, popping the hand here, just a little V-cut. Rounding the edge. And then removing the little layer of bandsaw wood. Here I'm doing little V-cuts like I usually do on the beard on my guy, just to sort of create texture in the fabric of the sleeve, like if they were like folded or something. I kind of like this effect. Then just little V-cuts, super detailed, but it kind of creates these wrinkles. Really small detail, but that's kind of cool. Alright, rounding everything. There we go, so that's the right side kind of done. Removing the wood, again, the bandsaw. Creating a little shape difference between the blade and the wooden guard part at the top. There's probably a name for that. I'm not sure. Removing more wood. It's never deep enough. All right. I'm still not going to do the raven. I will do it at some point. Moving the wood little by little under the hand. Okay, so I don't have a lot of leverage, so here I'm doing a really small, it's kind of hard to see, but I've made a stop cut and I'm removing a little bit of wood below. Basically trying my best to put a little belt in between the hand and the sleeve, which is like 2 centimeters wide or something, but yeah, it's here I'm trying to remove the wood. There we go. Not even sure you can even see that, but yeah, I've created some little belt. Removing more piece here. You can see the difference in brown color here. You see as I'm removing. Alright, removing more wood under the sleeve again. And then, finally, maybe, there we go. Stop cut along the lines of the raven. Same thing here. It's really small piece between the raven beak and the body. But at least I have a good angle to remove a little bit of wood to create some depth at least. So I go from stop cut to V cut to follow cut or whatever you name it. That's the hardest part. The rest at least you can just remove the wood from the outside, so that's way easier. Like the hand and the sleeve and everything, when you carve the end of the beak, just watch out to not break it. Stop cut on the side. So that's what I was saying a little bit before. There's like 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters between the back of the raven and the end of my wooden piece. So it's a little bit affecting the arm. but it's not too bad. I would have probably preferred to have a little bit more, because at this point I can't really carve a smaller raven. It's already fairly small to have any sort of detail. Here I just realized that the hand was kind of going up in an angle. I wanted to flatten it a bit. Here I'm doing a little cut to separate the raven from the arm. Carving the beak, popping it up from the head. Really small detail. Removing the wood from the bandsaw cut. Should have done that before, but I always forget. I always do that after. Here, little bits of V-cut to create a better shape for the body. Removing more wood. Little follow cut along the back of the raven, a bit more depth. I don't have a lot of game here. Like I said, there's not a lot of wood to remove. Flattening the hand again. There I was trying to make a thumb, but the wood was not cooperating. I think it still ended up looking like a thumb, but I kind of broke a little part of the wood, and yeah, it's okay. Not the best. Little stop cut, like on the other end. You don't want to cut. You don't want to remove the wood from the sleeve into the hand. It's the opposite, obviously. The hand is coming out of the sleeve. Rounding the edge. I'll do the same V-cut type that I've done on the other side. Here I was just adding a little bit more depth to between the raven and the sleeve. Alright, front is pretty well done, so I will just draw two little lines, basically to separate the cloak, cape, whatever, to the front of the body, just to stop cut and then follow through, popping the wood out. The little knot. That was a bit annoying to cut in, but it was not too bad. And popping that wood. Alright. Moving some wood from the front. Here I'm just adjusting the staff a bit. As usual, jumping around here and there. Soon we'll go for the face. Here I wanted to carve deeper, as usual, to create more depth, but yeah, as deeper you go, the harder even it gets to remove the wood, because there's even less angle for the blade. So here you see there's drawing on the face, but I'm removing it. I've edited that part because I realized that I should flatten the wood before carving the face, and this is where I've done my lucky mistake, because I didn't follow my center line. I just carved and created an edge for the nose, and it's not perfectly in the middle, but that's kind of cool, like I said, because looks like he's looking on the side, which something I've never done before. All my little dudes are always looking forward, but this one he's kind of, I don't know, maybe he's like talking to his little raven or something cute like that. I don't know, but I kind of like the result. So removing more wood in the middle again for the X amount of time. Make sure you don't shovel wood with your blade, because that's the best way to break it. You always need to cut and not force the wood out. So just drawing the top of the hood, the nose in the middle, little ridge line for the eyes, and then the big mustache, the mouth, and then the cheek lines. So I start with the side of the hood. Following the line and popping the wood. I could and should have probably carved a bit deeper for the face. I didn't carve enough, I think. It's really up to you. Like my nose, you will see it's kind of flat, but yeah, you know, it works. Okay, still just fixing my cut. We're not that great. And we stop cut straight. It's basically to create the eyebrows from the top, and then one stop cut on both sides of the nose, an angle, then other angles for the where the nostrils are, and then a stop cut for the the eye ridge, I guess. And then as usual I carve in, up, take stop cut. It's kind of tricky here once again with the blade because of the side of the hood. You can't really carve that deep. Then I'm removing a little bit part of the nose at the top, so he's like mono eyebrows. Deepening the eye socket and then carving in the side of the nose. So yeah, like I said, then the nose is kind of flat. At least it's not disproportionate. That's probably the smallest nose I've ever done. If you've been coming back to the channel, you probably know that I kind of like making big nose. Here I just flattened where the mouth is a little bit. I thought there was a little bit too much wood. And here I made a mistake. I carved one side of the mustache. Don't do that. That's not the mustache. Not supposed to be like this. And then I realized that I was like, oh crap. So then I'm carving the putting a stop cut for the other side of the big mustache, and then I will remove that wood here. You see I'm basically flattening it again because I realized my mistake. You see I'm making mistake all the time. But it's fixable, so I'm just flattening the wood again, and then I will do the mouth going along. So there we go. So now the mustache is kind of back together. Little cuts under the mustache. follow cut. Angular cut for the cheeks on both sides. I'll do a straight cut, stop cut, and then I will just try to remove the wood from below as much as I can with the angle that I have to make a little lower lip for the mouth. Be careful with that, that's really tiny, so it's really easy to break. Just removing more wood as much as I can to get more shadow. Realized I needed to do a little bit more cut for the cheek on the left side. So there I realized that there was no definition between the beard and the cloak. So I'm kind of trying my best to follow the hand but create a little depth. I don't think you can see, but yeah. So when I paint that will be easier to differentiate. So here I'm carving inside the middle. Like I said before, take your time and be careful to not break the blade. I'm doing a stop cut pretty wide, a couple of millimeters to make sure that I don't break it. And then I'm removing the wood from the hood. So I will separate the blade from the top of the head, a little bit at a time. And at some point you see that will come along. There we go, there's a little triangle. Something here. So now I'm basically removing the wood to create the hood. I'm kind of removing the wood from the back a lot, so it kind of looks like the hood is pointing forward. Now I'm just doing the edge on the side. You can see the brown difference there. It's where the little nut-ish was. At least it wasn't hard. It was not hard to carve. Thanks, my blade is happy. So yeah, I'm removing a lot of wood from the back. Sorry about that, it's kind of off camera. I want the hood to point forward. Just creating some sort of little peak. Removing the top part. There we go. Almost done. I realized that the raven didn't add an eye, so I've made a triangle cut. Little one. Here I realized that the belt needed to be added on this because, yeah, it wasn't there. I don't need one on the other side because the sleeve and the rest of the cloak is hiding it. Here I'm moving a little bit of wood in V-cuts to kind of create a fold in the hood. Then I realized that well, there was not that much work done on the back, so I just created more. I prolonged the cut from the arm a little bit in the back. now I'm just adding more cuts for the, basically the hood is kind of going along. And here I realized also that the rest of the staff was not out of the body, so I'm removing more wood to basically make the staff pop out. A bit of stop cut. Same thing here, prolonging, if that's a word. Sorry, it's late. Prolonging, yeah, prolonging, that's the word. On both sides, just to make the arm appear. Same thing on that side. Pretty much done. Just a couple of cuts left. Here I'm just taking the V-cuts I was doing for the hood part, linking them to the shoulder. I'm doing the same thing on the other side. There we go. Here I'm kind of creating a little fold again where the butt would be. Just a couple of V-cuts. Be pretty wide, you don't want to be super sharp here. Fixing my ugly cuts. There we go. Creating more texture in the back. And here I'm rounding the blade, giving it a little bit more texture. It will look a bit sharper, I guess. Rounding the guard. Here I'm just adding some just little tiny V-cuts. It's, I don't know, it's add a little bit of texture, I guess. It looks great. I don't know if I'm doing it, but I've also done a little triangle cut on the right eye, because that's Odin. He only has one eye. No, I forgot to do that, but yeah, do it. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed. I will put it in front of the camera to have the detail. So once again, there's the raven on one side, the staff on the other. It's kind of cool because he's kind of looking to the right. I was not planning that. It was a lucky mistake. When I rearranged the face, as you've seen, when I carved the angle of the face, it was not on the middle line, which is great. I kind of really like how it ended up. So I hope it was not too hard. If you have any comment, please leave them below. Press like, subscribe, whatever, how you feel like. And I hope to see you in the next carving video. Bye bye and have an amazing day.